As many people are aware, the internet is for porn. If you don't get that, I don't really care to explain it for you. Just maybe do some Googling with Safe Search off and come back in a few. But the internet actually has a weird love-hate relationship when it comes to adult content. It is phenomenally easy to consume adult content. Not that I'm speaking from experience, but that drastically changes when it comes to selling it. Many adult content creators find themselves in a tough spot when it comes to getting paid for their content. Mo money, mo problems. But why is it so damn hard? Now, before I get too far into this, I want to be super clear that I'm not judging one way or the other about adult content creators and sex workers. I'm not the morality police. I'm just here to explain how things work. So where do we start? A lot of people start with PayPal. It's convenient to set up, loads of people already use it, and you can accept more than just credit cards. Unfortunately, PayPal takes a pretty moralistic stance when it comes to sex stuff. I would explain specifically what stuff, but their terms of service doesn't actually spell it out. It just vaguely says you can't accept money for certain sexually oriented materials or services. Many accounts have ended up getting the ban hammer from PayPal and even having all of their money frozen by crossing some undefined line around adult goods and services. In some cases, PayPal even shuts down the personal accounts of people involved, even if those accounts were never used for any type of adult-related financial activity. Okay, so what about going with a platform? Patreon, a site that exists to help creators collect recurring donations, has become the home for many sex workers looking to monetize their fans. Of their top 500 creators, about 1 in 4 are not safe for work. Using some back-of-the-envelope math, I estimate that these 120 creators collect well over $1 million per month, with 10% going to Patreon and fees. However, Patreon has had something of a mixed relationship with adult content. In late 2017, it expanded its content guidelines and suspended many accounts that were suddenly found to be in violation. Last summer, there was another wave of bans against adult content creators, with many citing implied nudity as the reason for the ban. It's easy to be critical of Patreon here, and they have had other scandals which I won't get into, but ultimately, the company is at the mercy of its payment processors, who are ultimately at the mercy of the credit card networks like Visa and MasterCard. They've deemed adult content a high-risk business, likely because of the high amounts of fraud and disputed transactions that come with the territory. And as a result, they charge high upfront fees generally and blacklist individual businesses specifically in this area. There are, of course, some niche payment processors that are willing to take on these high-risk businesses, but they tend to have crazy high rates and pass along the large upfront fees. In some cases, as high as $1,000 a year just to have an account with them. And because this is all happening at the Visa and MasterCard level, it means that pretty much all mainstream credit card processors have something in their terms of service prohibiting adult content. Square, Stripe, Google Wallet, Snapcash, Venmo, WePay, Intuit, Amazon, the list goes on and on. But assuming you can manage to collect people's money online, the next hurdle is banking it somewhere. Chase, Bank of America, Capital One, and Citi have all been reported to have shut down sex workers' bank accounts without notice. And the craziest thing about all of this is how good-intentioned laws are making it worse. FOSTA and SESTA are a pair of recently passed laws that were designed to help fight online sex trafficking. Undoubtedly, that is a good mission, but there's been a fierce debate over how effective these two laws in particular were. The merits of FOSTA and SESTA is a discussion for another day, but one indisputable effect that they've had was to make all of the existing financial challenges significantly harder. Companies are now punished severely for any activity that is ultimately tied to sex trafficking, and the general response has been to aggressively ban adult goods and services of any kind. Look, whether you support the content they create or not, adult creators still need to pay their rent and buy groceries. In today's world, it's hard to fault them for choosing to create content that there is clearly a huge market for. And it seems unfair that our existing financial systems will block them from making money in completely legal ways, like selling sex toys or nude photos. I'm a content creator, as evidenced by this YouTube video, but my path to monetization looks strikingly different than if I was making content that was considered sexual or pornographic. I get to take advantage of the best platforms and the best credit card rates, but many other creators don't. And this two-tiered system, like many other weird and wonderful phenomena on the web, exists because it sits squarely at the boundary between the internet and the physical world. The internet doesn't care whether you're photographing a cat or role-playing as one, but the physical world, banks and credit card networks, definitely does. Thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, hit the buttons, write the words, give me feedback. See you next time.